Hello and welcome to the post-match analysis of this rather one-sided contest. You don't want Chennai to go down like this. When a T20 match becomes one-sided, it becomes rather boring. And especially if you have MS Dhoni on one side and he loses like this, it just doesn't feel well. Joydeep Mukherjee, Devashish Sen, both joining me. Joydeep, to you first. You don't want MS Dhoni to be in a position like this.
Yeah, obviously not.
Joydeep?
This is obviously not the Chennai Super Kings that we know. Can you
Yeah,
hear
go on.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said this is not the Chennai Super Kings we know. And obviously, what has happened is that they've become slightly weaker. Some of the other teams have become stronger. I think this is the first IPL where I can remember, except maybe Hyderabad, all 9 teams are evenly matched. Because of no right to match cards, as you're well aware, Bodia, it's opened up the field totally. Like a Shekhar Dhawan would never leave his franchise, a David Warner wouldn't, a Rabada wouldn't, because there would be the retentions and there would be the RTM cards. But this time, because the two new teams coming and no RTMs, this is as even as an IPL, and which is why Chennai has become slightly weaker than they were, and the other teams are becoming stronger, and that's what's showing.
Devashish, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would credit the Punjab Kings team management the way they brought those two changes, Vaibhav Arora and Jitesh Sharma, both leaving a mark. Especially Vaibhav Arora, especially with his lovely outswing and in swing that led to the downfall of those initial wickets, and Jitesh Sharma, the way he played at the cameo means 26 or 17 balls, and that catch that he took, and the
MS
way he
Dhoni.
went out for a DRS means that speaks volumes of the confidence of a young man making his debut in a tournament like IPL, big stage with so many people watching, means always constantly you are being monitored, and hats off to those two youngsters means, and what an innings Livingstone played.
Okay, I'll stop you there. Joydeep, in our pre-show, Liam Livingston, in our pre-show, both of these fellows, Rahul Chahar. Over to you. Liam Livingston and Rahul Chahar.
Now, this innings will change Liam Livingston, because no matter how good you are, no matter how much your price was, unless you go out there and do it in the middle and prove to yourself that I belong here. I've done it everywhere in the world. Why can't I do it here? That's why I thought it was jinx. I don't see a weakness in him, and just how his batting helped his bowling also. So this is a game of confidence, Bodia. Bodia, life is about confidence. We know that. When you were back in the day studying and you were not sure you'll be reaching the heights that you've reached today. But it's the confidence of your degree, of your ability to do the things that he can do. Once you do those things, life becomes easier. So there are many, many talented players in the world, but it's what separates the Dhonis, the Tendulkars, the Ganggulis, the Lakshmans, the Dravids, the Kumbles, the Srinaths, is the Zahir Khans, I could go on and on, but is the confidence and the self-belief of him to do it. And that is what will change from Livingston today. The 12 crore doesn't matter. What matters is for any sportsman, for any professional, it's about delivering. It's not about the money. It's about delivering what you are paid for. You're for a reason. And once you can hold your own, it's superb. And Rahul Chahar, I can go on and on. I think he's just superb because, he's got a lot of balls in his hand. He's at the peak confidence-wise. He's come from a very good franchise from Mumbai. He's left. And now he's on his own. I mean, he's their go-to bowler. He can turn these balls on. We haven't seen much turn in these few matches because it's a 18-20 match on every pitch. We see a lot of grass and all that. But he's got the full array out. Superb bowler.
Devashish, he mentioned Liam Livingston, he mentioned Rahul Chahar. But if I go to the batting, what is interesting is the approach. 2 quick wickets. Yes, MS Dhoni's brilliance in that run out. At no point in time did Punjab let the rate dip. Livingston and Dhawan, then Sharma. They kept going. This is like the England approach. The England team that went on to win the World Cup, for example, this similar approach. They will not let the run rate dip. That has been, yes, in the second match, Punjab blew hot and cold, but, they've not changed their approach. So clearly, there is a method to the madness. There is a degree of self-belief. Devashish's phone keeps going on because he is also like that young man, Jitesh Sharma. Whole night he will keep working. He wants to make a mark on the big stage, Joydeep. That is Devashish sent for you. Devashish, Thoughts on the Punjab
Absolutely.
approach?
I would say that in a T20 matches like this means one over changed the tide, and that was what happened with Punjab Kings. In the fifth over, Livingstone taking 26 runs of Mukesh Sharma. I think that shifted the momentum, because had Chennai got in another inroad, got in another wicket, things would have been different. But that was not the case, and that speaks volumes of the positivity of the Punjab Kings batting, means of, and led by Livingstone, the way he then attacked Mukesh Chowdhury, who was also making his debut, and from there on there was no stopping Livingstone. And Jitesh Sharma, well, for a debutant, he also played his part. Uh, and for me, I think the biggest disappointment for me, Boriada, is Rituraj Gaikwad. Means once again a failure. And I think it will be very difficult now, for Chennai. Means losing three matches, and especially in a tournament like IPL, you need to win at least 8 or 9 matches, so as to guarantee your place in that playoffs. And I think things are looking very, very difficult for Chennai Super Kings from here.
Joydeep, once
Bora, can
again,
I just add
Ruturaj
to that?
Gaikwad. No, you add to that, but
Yeah.
you also talk about
Yeah,
Ruturaj
just before coming
Gaikwad,
to
because that's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I will. So, when a Punjab team comes and plays against a team like CSK, 150 is not going to be good enough. So, even though you've lost 2 wickets, you play at all guns firing. Because when you play with the full throttle, like you said, rightly said in the 50 over, the England started that, you will lose 3, but you'll win 8. But if you play within yourself, if you always succumb to the score and say, okay, we are 17 for 2, so let's just now shut shop for a while, and then you can't open the shop anymore because it's a Sunday. So whatever happens. So what I'm saying is you still go. If you're batting order, that's why I said this team has become a lot better. Now they have the firepower at 6, 7, 8 to be able to, even in spite of being 23 for 2, they couldn't before. If Mayank and got out, they couldn't. Both of them got out, they wouldn't win any game. If one of them got out, they wouldn't win 40% of the games. So they knew they didn't have the firepower. But the way they've been able to make the team, and if you see the history of IPL, 5, 6, 7, 8 have won matches for their teams. Be it Jadeja and Dhoni, be it Karan Pollard, Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, whoever, Russell and whoever. People have 6, 7, 8, because 1, 2, 3, 4, when you get runs, you win by 8 wickets, and it's a walk in the park. When they don't score runs, these are the guys that bail you out. Rituraj Gaikwad, they know where to bowl to him now. Outside off stump with a hint of swing. They had the slip outside. He has a bit of issue with the technique. The commentators are talking about it. He completely opened up the ball before that he opened up. And when you're in a bad form, then you nick everything. This on another year when things are going well, he'll miss a couple, then hit a cracking square cut, one flick, and then you're in rhythm. That's not happening for him right now.
So then what does he do? Because he's a quality act. I mean, clearly he has to come back. He's their go-to man. So MS Dhoni is there in that dressing room. What does a Ruturaj Gaikwad do from here, Joydeep, before I go to Devashish again?
Boria, these conditions are different to the last IPL, where they were played in the Middle East, and these are conditions where we've seen a lot of seam movement. So he has to go back to the basics. He has to play the first few shots. There is some technique issue. He's getting caught in the slips. He's opening up. He's playing away from the body. As an opener, quality bowling on these sort of pitches, one Shami will come, one Umesh will come. They will bother you. So he needs to be more circumspect, more test match batting, more correct. Look at the guys who have scored runs. They've been correct. Shubman Gill was pretty correct in between. And then when he got the loose balls, when the good ball comes, that can get you out, you got to play it like a test match. When it's a loose ball, you can hit it. But if you play a good ball, a little loose, for lack of a better word, then this is what's going to happen to you.
Devashish, Chennai badly. I mean, you mentioned Mukesh Chowdhury. You mentioned, like yesterday, Basil Thampi 1 over 26 match change. Today, Mukesh Chowdhury 1 over 26 match change. Badly missing Deepak Chahar. In that power play, the 3 overs of Deepak Chahar, Chennai is missing that man like anything. They spent 14 crores. Clearly, they broke their bank. They know this guy is our go-to man. That injury, I mean, that has big time dented Chennai. Devashish?
Yeah, absolutely, Buryada, and he's only going to be available in only after mid of April. So by that time, Chennai Super Kings would have played at least 6-7 matches. And what happens if they lose another couple of matches. For them, IPL 2020 would be as much as over. So I think they are sorely missing the likes of Deepak Char, and also they have in the ranks Adam Milne, who was injured, and they have not many options left. They have Mitchell Santner and Mathis Thiksana, the mystery spinner from Sri Lanka. So not many options left for Chennai Super Kings as far as foreigners is concerned, overseas cricketers is concerned. So this is very big headache for Chennai Super Kings. The more they regroup and sort out this issue, the better for them. But I think Deepak Chahar is definitely sorely missed by the Chennai Super Kings.
Jaideep, one question on Ravindra Jadeja and the other on Punjab. The first one, Ravindra Jadeja again, another failure with the bat. It will start to weigh on anyone's mind. I mean, if your team's not winning, big shoes of MS Dhoni, defending champions, and you've taken over captains, you've started to fail, things are not going well. So what does Ravindra Jadeja do from here? Question one. Question two, Punjab. I mean, all said and done, 2 out of 3, looking the part. They've started well in the past, Punjab, and have lost momentum. What do they do this year around to keep that momentum? Because if you remember under Ravichandran Ashwin, they started brilliantly and then they gave it away. So they've got back history. So these 2 questions for you, Jaideep.
Yeah. So I start with the first one. Ravindra Jadeja is batting way ahead of what he's been doing all his life in T20 cricket. He's sometimes coming in the 4th over, 5th over, 7th over. He's a number 5 batsman now. So he has to bat like a number 5 batsman. Today, the way he got out, he was batting like a number 7 batsman where the ball is 14 overs old and not doing a lot. When he was batting today, the ball was still jagging around. He got out to a ball that jagged around, no foot movement whatsoever. And next batsman, he was even telling him that the ball did jag around, but the ball is meant to jag around. That's why it's a conflict between bat and ball. And the good bowlers will make the ball jag around. So first thing is that he has to play the T20 game like a one-day game. If he had to walk in a one-day game with 30 overs to go or 35 overs to go with that sort of intent. Because the way he's batting, it seems like he's batting in the 14th over and there's not much happening. Your technique will be tested. I heard the commentators talking about technique. I've never heard people talk about technique in T20 cricket. But when the ball jags around, you will need basic technique to bail you out till the time the ball is stopped swinging. And today the ball swung for quite a bit. And not just one bowler. Everybody came and jagged it around. So you need the technique for it to be able to handle that. That's one. The second thing is talking about Punjab. I think they have the firepower. They've always lacked the firepower. They were a team that were based on 3-4 players to win you the game, and 1 or 2 with support. Now they've got 7-8 guys that can win you the game, and they've got 3 guys or 4 guys who can support. So this year they have a team just like Rajasthan. They have the bowling, superb bowling. Like Lucknow, they have a superb all-round team. A team doesn't win you a trophy. A team gives you confidence to win. A team makes you feel when you get on the park, I have the ammunition. I'm getting into battle. They've got some ammunition. So do we. But if you lack ammunition, then you somewhere along the line, you go all guns firing, but then you have to bail out or you have to retreat because you don't have the firepower to fight. These teams have it this year.
Devashish, the only high point for Chennai, if I can say so, before I go to Joydeep for the last question of tonight, the only time, I mean, today, all of us got a lift was when MS Dhoni ran 9.3 meters, had 1.2 seconds and flicked the ball. I was thinking 2016, that Bangladesh game, that was maybe a little faster, the run, and then he took the wicket with the ball. This time around, he just flicked it. So, but that was some brilliance. That was one act of individual brilliance. The man has not lost that skill. So that was one MS Dhoni, vintage MS Dhoni. Devashish.
Yeah, absolutely. That speaks volumes of his athleticism because at his age, 40 years, and still the way he ran forward and just threw his body and just it was sheer intelligence because most of the times invariably you would see that wicketkeeper trying to break the wicket with his glove, but for MS Dhoni he just threw the ball. So that speaks volumes of his intelligence and quick presence of mind. So and also the catch that he took means obviously MS Dhoni, the fair player, we know he took the catch, but he knew that he did not catch it properly. So he immediately signed off. So that's MS Dhoni for me. Means he will always stand out for me as as the brand ambassador for he will always hold for me as the spirit of the game. Means the way he carried his entire career throughout means that speaks. Means that's MS Dhoni for you. And once again, he showed today.
Johnny, same question. MS Dhoni's brilliance, and then does CSK have a way back? Because all of us want, I mean, they are one team. You don't want midway into the tournament saying, oh, you know what, CSK is gone. You don't want that. So these two questions before I close the show.
No, you don't want, you don't, yeah. Yeah, so Mahendra Singh Dhoni, very athletic. He's always been naturally athletic. I hear from the Jharkhand boys, he comes to Jharkhand training. He's there from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. He's either swimming or he's in the gym. Doesn't bat and bowl a lot, but he's playing badminton. He's playing table tennis. He's doing something or the other. So he loves sport. He's very athletic. He's in great shape. And one thing that he has is fierce pride of performance, fierce pride of who he is. He doesn't want his guard down. Doesn't want to let his guard down. He doesn't want Mahendra Singh Dhoni's reputation. Nobody to say he's slow or he's lost it or he's become a touch slow or his reflexive slowed down or he's not as strong as he used to be or he can't run as quickly as he wants to be. That's pride of who you are. You don't want to, as long as you play, you want to be the number one guy. Second thing, Chennai Super Kings, I really feel there is a way back. They're not playing well. Things are not happening for them. It's a long tournament, Bodia, as we know. As we know what Mumbai did back in the day when they lost first 6 and then came back and won last 8 in a row and won. KKR did the same in the UAE. So it's possible. It's an uphill task. Yes, Deepak Chah will be missed, but injuries are injuries. For me, the Chennai bowling is looking very, very up and down. Not that firepower on these wickets. They don't have, somebody like a Josh Hazelwood, a Hilton House, people who would rip you up. That was Deepak Chah's role, but they would always have backups. If you look, Dougie Bollinger back in the day, when Raina would be pulling his hair after he gets wickets. So they had guys who were opening bowlers for their country, coming and doing it for them. That is what Chennai is missing. And that's putting pressure on the batting, which is why, see, when you get 180, no matter how good your batting is, it is an uphill task, okay? You will have to bat out of your skin. No matter how good the wicket is, no matter how small the ground is, whatever it is. You can't chase 180 every day. 150 and 180 is a huge difference. 160 and 180 is a huge difference. Mentally also, just knowing, 8 runs and oh my God, 9 runs and over. It's like that, So I feel if things fall in place, they hit form, they can turn it around. If there's any team that can, so you won the IPL so many times and as good a team as you have with that man at the boss, you can't write them off.
So on that note, on a note of optimism for the Chennai Super Kings from our experts, Joydeep Mukherjee says there is a way back. And all of us want to believe there is a way back. Tomorrow, a brand new game for Sunrisers Hyderabad. Can they come back after that dismal first match showing against the Lucknow Super Giants, who've already come back with that 210 chase? Another fascinating contest. KL Rahul versus Kane Williamson. Important contest, both of us, Joydeep and I. And of course, Devashish Sen will be back tomorrow with Veda Krishnamurthy and Rima Malhotra also joining us. So at 7 p.m. tomorrow, here on Rave Sports, we are back. But before that, plenty coming your way during the day as well. Watch out for our platforms for all the exclusives. For now, Joydeep Mukherjee and Devashish Sen, thank you very much. Good night and goodbye.
Thank you, Warrior. Good night.
Thank you and good night.